Sarah thought divorce meant losing everything, not just her marriage to Chris, but the family home filled with memories. First steps, Christmas mornings, school photos on the stairs. Forced to sell the house she loved, Sarah bought the only place she could afford in London. She moved in, angry, grieving, certain it was a step backwards. Slowly, the house began to reveal itself. Kind neighbours, happy children, a quieter version of herself. What Sarah thought was the end of her old life was really the beginning of a new one, because sometimes the place you never wanted becomes the place that saves you. The house I didn't want, but apparently needed. Narrated story. London, 2026. Let me tell you about Sarah, late 30s, 2 children. Ethan, 12 going on 35, and Bella, 8 going on Broadway. Ex-husband, Chris, surprisingly decent. Which, frankly, was mildly inconvenient. The marriage hadn't exploded. No dramatic plate throwing. No villain music. They just drifted. Like 2 people standing on opposite ends of a Northern Line platform, both wondering if they're still on the same train. They kept it civil. Chris was fair, still kind, still showing up for the kids. And that made it harder, because it's easier to hate someone than to admit life just shifted. But the house, it wasn't just bricks and mortar. It was takeaway pizza on the floor because they had no furniture. 2 babies brought home. Christmas mornings, school photos on the stairs. It held a version of life she thought would last. Now it had a for sale sign outside. They had to sell, which meant she had to buy. What she could afford in London in 2026 was described as compact, which means small. Full of character, which means old. Up-and-coming area, which means not yet. It wasn't where she imagined herself living. She told herself it was temporary. Move day came, boxes everywhere, children unimpressed, that hollow echo of unfamiliar walls. She stood in the hallway thinking, this isn't the plan. The first morning she went downstairs for the post, still unsettled, still tired. Then she looked up. The stained glass panels in the front door she hadn't properly noticed. Sunlight poured through them, not just light, but colour. Reds, blues, gold, green. The hallway filled with it. She stood there in her pyjamas holding junk mail thinking, well, that's unexpected. The kitchen was worn, cupboards uneven, hinges broken, handles mismatched. But every morning that same light returned in the hallway. The living room carpet had to go. She pulled it up. Underneath, original oak floorboards. She sanded them down, watched them come back. Maybe nothing was broken. Maybe it just needed uncovering. Then there was the garden, overgrown, slightly intimidating. But once she started clearing it, apples, blackberries, pears, actual food. She made jam. Sarah made jam. The woman who once killed a cactus. There was a rose bush with the most incredible scent. The soil was generous. Things grew. She found herself outside more, hands in the earth, head quieter. The kids loved it. A proper garden. Grass, not concrete. Ethan with a football. Bella staging performances for squirrels. And the neighbours, kind. The real kind. The kind who mean it when they offer help. The area she once dismissed turned out to be full of people who showed up. Then, one Saturday morning, a knock at the door. Chris. He handed her a battered box. You left this in storage? Inside, an old pizza box lid. From their first night in the old house. Written in marker. Here we go. She laughed, then cried, then laughed again. She handed him a jar of jam. You made this? Apparently I do that now. He stayed for tea, nothing heavy. Just easy. When he left, she looked around. The golden light, the oak floors, the quiet. And she thought, maybe this was the plan. just not the one I expected. If Sarah's story reminds us of anything, it's this. Sometimes the chapters we fight the hardest to keep are the very ones the life is asking us to outgrow. What looked like loss became growth. What felt like the wrong turn became a new path. And the house she never wanted became the home she truly needed. So if you're in a season of change right now, maybe things aren't falling apart. Maybe they're quietly falling into place. If this story meant something to you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever had something unexpected turn out to be exactly what you needed? And if you enjoy stories like this, about life, resilience, healing, and fresh starts, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join us for the next one.